What about second breakfast?
Time for second breakfast.
What's up, everybody? Monster here with another second breakfast. In keeping in our series of Monster will go see just about anything live and in concert, Monster, Mrs. Monster, and the Little Monsters went and saw Gabby's Dollhouse. Now, this is going to be real short, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about this for a minute because I thought it was very funny. If you listened last week, you'll know that me, Mrs. Monster, and friend of the show, David, went and saw the Rock Orchestra by candlelight at the Stephen Tanger Center. The very next night, me, my wife, and our two little girls, who are 6 and 3, went and saw Gabby's Dollhouse live at the Stephen Tanger Center. And I just thought it was really funny that those two things happened back to back, one night after the other. Very different shows, of course. And I was really hoping, like, I don't know how I'd be able to find this out, but I'm wondering how many other people like my wife and I were there both nights. Because I would have to imagine there was a little bit of crossover. Maybe not, I don't know. But it was definitely a different vibe, for sure. But what's also funny is we actually sat very close to the same place for both nights, which was kind of cool. So, so I talked about going to see Danny go with my kids. So, hey, why not talk about Gabby's Dollhouse? Because, sure, why not? This is a music podcast, and there was music. So, hey, it fits. So, like I said, I have two little girls. One is 6, one is 3. So, Gabby's Dollhouse is one of those things that they both enjoy. So, whenever these kind of like live performance of these TV shows and cartoons come to town, we try to go to a few of them. We've gone to a Paw Patrol one before. We've done a Sesame Street one before, and it's fun. It's very interactive. Like, for example, at this one, the story of the performance was about capturing all the colors of the rainbow to create this like life tree. And it was pretty cool. It's a combination of like physical props and then also like a big LED screen on the back wall, which they show clips of things that pertain to what's going on in the story. And so they a lot of music. The music was fun. But as far as the interactive part goes, they gave every kid these little flower fan things when they first walked in, that whenever they told you to, you would hold it up in the air and wave it real hard to get the colors to do whatever. So, again, for little kids, it's really cool. It feels like the characters are talking to them, and they love that. It was here. Okay. This is the part of the show that I would like a little discussion. I get a little feedback every now and again, and I'd love to hear some parents give me their thoughts on this. So, this happened at Paw Patrol as well. Sesame Street was different because it was people in costumes. But at Paw Patrol, and you can actually look this up if you don't know what I'm talking about. I think it's on Paramount Plus. They probably YouTube as well. They have like the live performance of like the Paw Patrol thing like we've done. And you probably find Gabby's Dollhouse too. But they have people wearing not a like costume, but like a like some kind of a contraption that has the character's body and face attached to them. So, like, for example, with Gabby's Dollhouse, they would have like Pandy Paw, and there's some other ones. I don't know their names, but they basically have a person walking around where their legs are the cat's legs, but the cat's body only comes up to like half of their body. So they walk and talk and sing, and they're pretty advanced. Like I could tell from where we were sitting that one of the cats had like LED eyes that would blink. Some of them, they would move the arms and could make a move and interact with things. But I guess because of the size it makes sense to have it, if it was a 6 foot tall person running around in one of those suits, it would look a little funny because they're meant to be little. But it also looks funny that it's a grown man and this little cat suit, which, again, it doesn't, like, the kids don't seem to be affected by this. Like, they're still having a good time singing along, enjoying the show. It's just, I'm wondering if there is an alternative to that works better. I don't know. The only other option I can think of is, like I said, a person in a costume, which for Big Bird and Cookie Monster and Elmo, like, that all made perfect sense. But for Paw Patrol and Gabby's Dollhouse, it's sort of like, the only other option would be something like animatronics, which is like, I mean, even the animatronics at Disney aren't quite ready for that level of, whatever. So, but the music was good. The visuals were good. There's one of the things that, and I guess this makes sense because I guess most people probably don't care, is obviously none of the music is live. It's all recorded. It would be kind of fun if they actually had like live musicians to play some of the music, but I totally get why that's not an option. But I really like doing these things with my kids because I feel like it stretches their imagination. Because it's hard to tell with a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, but they watched the cartoon. We took them to see the Gabby's Dollhouse movie in theaters, and then they go and see it live. Now, it's not the same girl playing Gabby as from the TV show and the movie. It's a different girl that's on tour, but she looks like her and she sounds like her and she does a great job. She was great. I guess in their brains it does look different and it does feel different, but they just get wrapped up in it and just enjoy it for what it is. Because like, a couple weeks ago when I was talking about AI music, I talked about watching the new Frankenstein movie. And being an adult now, I see the CGI versus the live action, and my brain has a hard time, like, just putting the two together. Whereas this is almost like the opposite of that. They've seen the cartoon, and now they see the physical manifestation of these cartoon characters, and they just go with it. They can just use their imagination and let it go. And I miss that. I wish I could do that better. Like the inverse, like if I go see a stage play, or like when we go see Evil Dead the musical, which if you've never seen that, I'd highly recommend that. That's wonderful. Obviously, I'm in the right mindset. I know the difference between what they can do on a film versus what they can do on a stage in a small auditorium. So as an adult, like, this all makes sense. But as a child, it's cool to see like the wonder and the just acceptance of this is it. This is how it goes. And this is fun for what it is. Now, I will say, both of our kids were being a little bit, I don't know. They had fun, but they were also being little pains throughout. So, but it was a good time. Any other parents out there that go and do these things? I can imagine that for a lot of dads, especially like rock and metal dads, that maybe like this is, just send the wife with the kids and I'll stay home and play video games or something. But I like doing these things. I like being there and, again, as the musician guy, as a live entertainment fan, I'm looking over at the sound booth and seeing what they're doing. And, I can appreciate wow, how did they like build that and make it move this way and those kinds of things. I really don't have much to say about the actual show. It was about getting colors for a rainbow, and they had some cool props, and periodically they would, people would run out and move some stuff around, and it was cool. It was fun. If you live in North Carolina, especially the Triad area, definitely check out the Stephen Tanger Center. It's very cool. It's in the middle of downtown Greensboro. I think I mentioned last week, I've seen stand-up comedians there. We've seen like the Rock Orchestra. They do all kinds of cool stuff all year long, and it's a lot of fun. But Any other rock and roll dads out there that like just suck it up and take their kids to these things and have fun with it, like me? Because it's cool, it's fun, and if this is your first time listening to me do these rambles, maybe you wouldn't know this, but I've also taken my 6-year-old to see 311. I took her to see Baby Metal with Black Veil Brides and Bloodywood. Like I take her to that too. So it's almost like a trade-off. It used to be me and my wife. I would take her to go see, Iron Maiden, and she'd take me to go see Beyonce. And now it's like, yeah, well, I'm going to take my 6-year-old to go see this metal show, and then I will go with her to go see Gabby's Dollhouse or Paw Patrol or whatever. So, yeah, but I'd love to hear some feedback from some other parents if there's some out there that also do this balancing act. But yeah, Gabby's Dollhouse live, it's definitely something for not men almost 40. But hey, it was fun for the kids, and that's what's important. So anyway, I hope you have a good day.